Mission Aviation Fellowship is a faith-based nonprofit organization with our headquarters just outside of Boise, Idaho. We use small aircraft to fly in hard-to-reach parts of the world. So a lot of developing countries, a lot of countries that are experiencing conflict, that are far away from the resources that many of us are accustomed to here in the U.S. We have about 45 airplanes flying in those different countries. We have about 600 staff that are serving between our headquarters and these locations overseas. I think like any organization, MAF has long struggled to figure out how do we want to train and prepare our staff for the roles that they're in, or roles that we'd like to see them go into, this sense of leadership development. And a few years ago, we really latched on, if you will, to the Complete Leader program.
One of the reasons that we knew the Complete Leader would be a great fit for the MAF organization is that with leaders around the globe, there was a need for a common language for everyone to speak, and the Complete Leader was able to offer that. Secondly, the Complete Leader has thousands of resources with universal appeal, which are all available on thecompleteleader.org to members of the cohort.
My name is Dave Ringenberg. I am a pilot for Mission Aviation Fellowship, serving in Papua, Indonesia. My current role is Director of Operations, and so I have a lot of interaction with people, U.S. staff, national staff, regulators, and local people that just rub shoulders with every day. So almost on a weekly basis, after you start taking the TCL, you come across situations where you're like, oh, we just talked about this at our cohort last week. And so you get an opportunity to apply it to your role. And even at home too, with your family.
We've had now multiple cohorts go through the program. These are individuals from all sorts of places around the world. So they're dialing in from Indonesia, or a country in Africa, or Haiti, or somebody who may be in Central Asia. And they're getting on this call together, which is pretty cool because they can build relationships with each other that spans the globe. And so it's working for us.
In this 14-month experience, it allowed our participants this really unique opportunity to deepen their interpersonal relationships. And as a result, it naturally created better working relationships amongst each other.
And finally, through years of leadership development training, we know that learning in a cohort is the most effective way to have a lasting impact. These leaders being able to come together and grow and learn cascaded throughout the organization.
The feedback that we're getting from the participants is great. There's a high level of appreciation. They acknowledge that it's been helpful for their development. And we needed that as an organization, and the Complete Leader program checked the box for us.
We at TTI Success Insights were really happy to be able to participate in this global leadership development program. And the contributions that we make in a program like this are that we have a multi-layered approach to helping people understand themselves through taking a variety of assessments. These assessments aren't scorecards, they're not grades, they are triggers to help people self-reflect about who they are as a leader. So we started with people understanding their behavioral style, how they respond to problems and challenges, and how they interact with people and deal with change, and how they respond to rules and procedures and structure and things like that.
Well, they have the TTI Trimetrics reports that we did. We must have done like a half a dozen of these reports. They were fantastic, all of them were. But like 3 of them stick out particularly to me. One is the jobs report, and that basically shows you your competencies, your skill levels, and things like that. That measures the hierarchy of competencies. So that was one. There was a stress quotient, and this tells you where you're stressed out in your job. And then each one of these gives you ideas of how to improve in those areas.
And then also to take a look at how they see themselves, what their self-concept is, how it's expressed in terms of their sense of self as a human being, and their relationship to their roles, and then their sense of their future direction. The 4th report that they used in this program was looking at their leadership competencies. So there were 25 different competencies that they looked at that you could really cluster into their thinking competencies, how well they do things like decision making and futuristic thinking and problem solving, and their achieving competencies, how well they do at goal achievement and resiliency and self-management.
And this is all about self-awareness and self-reflection. And that in itself was really eye-opening, because it made me realize how maybe unaware I am sometimes of how I come across to people. And so for me, that's what the biggest takeaway was, is just becoming more self-aware.
And this is all a part of the contribution that TTI Success Insights makes to leadership development programs. And what was significant about this program is that it was global in reach. It provided the opportunity for everybody in one organization around the globe to go through the same experience. And in fact, we've delivered these reports to people in over 100 countries and in over 40 languages. So we're very grateful for partners like the Complete Leader faculty who use our instruments and use our tools to help leaders become the greatest leaders that they can be.
Another great thing about our program is that it wasn't just beneficial for our participants, but our facilitators took a lot from it as well. They really received just as much as they gave within the program. It was a sense of iron sharpening iron. Many of them have expressed how it gave them a sense of self-reflection as they were contributing to such a great cause. So essentially, it was a 360 growth experience.
What I learned from my fellow coaches and facilitators, we met in advance of every session and talked about what we were learning, where we were, shared some of our experiences, and I learned so much from, I guess, two different areas. One is how they showed up as coaches and facilitators. And the other thing was just what they were noticing in the cohort. And it asked me to step up my game, being involved with such wise, experienced coaches, facilitators, cohort members. I mean, it was a great experience.
This program went deeper than just intellectual leadership. It touched both the head and the heart.
So if you are a nonprofit, if you're a for-profit company and you're looking for resources to help develop your leaders, I would really strongly endorse the work of Price Associates. They have an established track record. They've worked with all sorts of organizations from smaller nonprofits to Fortune 500 companies. So they have a broad spectrum of exposure to different ways that organizations need to thrive and grow and how they can develop their leaders. They've been trustworthy, they've been responsive to us, very generous in terms of sharing their knowledge and their wisdom with us, and I couldn't recommend them more.